everyone, ShawnQ here, and in this bonus Q&A session, I'm going to be answering your questions that you asked last week that I didn't have enough time to answer. Let's jump in. All right, so I got a ton of questions that came in to last week and yesterday that I didn't have enough time to answer, so I want to make sure to answer those questions for you. Now, if you're watching live, go ahead and put hashtag team live. If you're on the rerun, go ahead and put hashtag rerun. I am so excited to be able to work with you and be able to see a lot of the things that are coming through, be able to serve you and help you so that you are able to land your next high-paying client. I'm going to jump right in, so let's go ahead and go to that first question. Question is, let me pull it up. Oh, by the way, okay, before I go into the question, I have been on a weight loss journey myself. And Wisdom, if you actually tap into the video, yep, there you go. And then you can click on the music thing so that it, if you zoom out. Anyways, okay, so we're figuring it all out. But what's really incredible is I have a ton of questions that are coming in, and if you're with us live again, I see a Bobby, I see a Brian, but some really good news. Okay, so I've lost weight. I've been on this personal weight loss journey. This shirt used to fit really tight on me about 3 weeks ago, and it's like look at how much space there is. Anyways, can you guys just celebrate with me a little bit? This is like pretty awesome. I'll tell you my secret at the end. Anyways, okay, so got a couple of questions that came in, and I want to make sure to answer them. And so if you have any questions, go to put hashtag team question or hashtag question so I can find those really fast and easy and answer your questions. So the first question is, ShawnQ, how do I create an experience for high-ticket clients? How do I create an experience for high-ticket clients? This is such a great question. All right, remember on day 2, I talked about having a wow talk. And this is where you're having a conversation with someone where you're asking them powerful questions. Here are a couple other bonus tips that you can do to be able to really create an experience where they experience deep clarity. And so the things that are going to happen that you can use to create deep clarity are a couple of tools. Go ahead and write this down if you're taking notes. Number 1, assessments. Assessments. I think I said this on day 3 or 4. I don't remember, but I said prescription before diagnosis is malpractice. What does that mean? If you are providing a solution to someone before you know what the real problem is, you are actually hurting someone. So many of you are actually rushing in to provide a solution. So many of you are rushing in to provide your offer. You're getting into a conversation and you're rushing to oh, let me tell you about my offer because you want the sale, when that's actually hurting. And it's actually on a medical level within the medical practice, it's malpractice. What that means is it's illegal. It's unethical because you're giving people solutions they're not ready for or solutions that may not even be a good fit. So stop rushing to strategy. Stop giving tips. Stop giving all these tactics, all this tactical strategic help in your first conversation. They're not ready for it yet. The first thing you want to do is assess. It's take a moment and assess what's happening. You can do that through questions. A couple other things I like to do is have checklists or use other people's assessments. So, for example, I'm doing a one-on-one intensive. It's a full-day intensive that I do with a couple of different people. And the first half is we're having them take the StrengthsFinder assessment. We're having them take the Kolbe assessment. We're having them take the Enneagram assessment. Why? Because we want to really deeply understand who they are so that we can deeply understand what kind of solution will best fit for them. Your solution won't be the perfect fit for everybody, and that's okay. Your job is to make sure that you're providing the best solution. Sometimes that's not your solution. Sometimes I'm on a call and I'm like, hey, I actually don't think we'd be a good fit. Let me go ahead and refer you to someone else. Or what I'm doing is I've put together our own assessments where we're able to go through a checklist or through an audit list, and then what they're able to see is oh my gosh, I really need help, or this is really going to be able to suit me, and this is going to be the best solution for me. So make sure that you are giving people an experience of clarity, not an experience of strategy, especially in those wow talks. an experience of clarity. When they have that experience of clarity, once they have clarity, then they're ready for strategy. If you're providing strategy, you're giving them something that they're not ready for, and you're giving them something they should pay for. They should be committed to. They should make an investment into. So you want to make sure that you only give strategy to those who are committed to fulfilling on that strategy. I can't tell you how many times when I was first getting started, I would have conversations with people, and I'd be giving all this strategy away, all this tactic away. Guess what? 6 months later, they'd be in the same spot. They wouldn't implement. Why? Because they weren't committed to the strategy. They didn't invest in the strategy, which meant they were unlikely to actually show up for themselves with the strategy. So you want to make sure, somebody put this in the comments below. Hey, Amanda, so good to see you. Hey, Simona, so good to see you. Clarity first, then strategy. Clarity, then strategy. Someone put that in the comments below. And Bobby says, Shawn, you're looking great, man. Thanks so much. I think I've lost about 10 pounds now, maybe 12. I feel really good. This shirt used to be really tight on me. It was like tight, which is like crazy. It's so loose today. Thanks so much. And then Brian says, gold nugget, malpractice to give prescription without a diagnosis. Yes. So good. Okay, so I hope that helps. One way that you can create an experience for clients is assessments. If you notice, that's what we do in the challenge. The very first thing we do is heck yes or heck no. Are you a heck yes here or a heck no here? And it's with those assessments that you're able to get the clarity you need in order to realize, oh, I really got a problem. Let's fix it. So you want to do the same thing in your Wow Talks. Great question came in. If you have a question, go to #question. I'll make sure to answer it. Question number 2, how do I work through my money mindset? So this question came in, and I'm assuming that this question is about you have a hard time with money. In the inner circle, we didn't really talk about this in the challenge, but in the inner circle, we went through an entire practice where we uncovered what our relationship to money looked like. And a lot of times, I shared this in the inner circle. There's a new study that was recently released that showed the money relationship that your grandparents had is in your DNA. Literally, your relationship to money is passed down through your DNA 3 generations. In other words, what the study discovered was if your grandparents were poor, and maybe your parents were a little less poor, maybe a little middle class, and then you are affluent or wealthy, what they discovered is those first generation wealthy individuals had the same relationship to money oftentimes. They just had better opportunities. Maybe there was more diverse opportunities for them, but they had the same relationship to money than their grandparents did. They had the same scarcity mindset than their grandparents did. They had the same reactions to scarcity and to money and to conversations around money than their grandparents did. In other words, your money mindset, the relationship you have with money, is not just I got to think better. It is a relationship. We have Nashira, who's an acceleration coach and client therapist. She's a financial therapist. Something she talks about a lot is how toxic oftentimes our relationship to money is. How when we have conversations around money, we are not having conversations that are empowering or confident or excited. I remember I had a conversation with somebody, I don't remember when, and I was telling them, okay, you don't believe that you can have a $100,000 launch? I'm going to hold the faith for you. And sometimes you need a coach or you need someone to hold the faith for you, to believe for you because they see it in you. And maybe it's because you don't have it. So sometimes your money relationship, you need to uncover it by doing a little bit of journaling. And if you're taking notes, that would be the first step. Journal, walk through. What was my parents' relationship to money? What was my grandparents' relationship to money? What happened when they didn't have enough money? What were their reactions? What were the phrases they said? Because that all shapes the relationship you have with money. And then you want to replace it. Journal it or document it, then replace it. And what I want you to write down, and I gave a couple of people this assignment, is write down the 25 things you are going to believe about money starting today. What are the things you're going to believe about money starting today? I'm going to believe that money easily comes to me. I can confidently have conversations around money. Money no longer controls my mood. The lack of money does not mean the lack of resourcefulness. Just because I don't have a resource doesn't mean I can't be resourceful. Just because I don't have currency doesn't mean I can't be creative. And so I want you to begin to journal and replace everything you grew up with when it came to money and replace it with what you want to believe today, starting today, about money. And then I want you to repeat it. Give yourself those affirmations. Say it over and over and over and over. Why? Because you've heard the other stuff over and over and over, especially when growing up. So you're going to have to replace it on a consistent basis. You cannot read just one. You can't just read one article. You can't watch one live stream and think your money problems are gone. Right? You got to make it a consistent thing that you work through. So I hope that was helpful for those of you who are struggling with that money mindset. Document your relationship with money. Document the history you have with money, the history your family has with money. Then replace it. All right? Let me know if that was helpful. Let me know in the chat. Great question, Amanda. Amanda asked, how do you work the objections you know will come up with prospects into a story so you don't have to just go over objections step by step? Great question. I'm going to answer that in just a sec. Okay, so question 3 that came in earlier was, when do you know you're ready to commit to a coach? That's such a great question. Listen, if you're at a point where you have been trying, and maybe you're a little successful, but it's sporadic success, right? It's not consistent success. Or maybe you have consistent success, but it's not at the level that you want it to be. For example, we have several people in Clients with Purpose who've recently joined who are doing launches. They're already in action. They're doing $10, $20, maybe $30,000 with their launches, and we're going to be showing them how they can join the 6-figure club, how they can be a part of the club of launches that have 6-figure pluses every single time they launch. So the question is, when do you know you're ready for a coach? It's when you want to accelerate your growth that you're already on the path of, number 1. Number 2, it's when you're not experiencing results and you need someone to show you the way to get results. Or number 2, it's somebody who's going to help you analyze the data so that your success is no longer sporadic or just random, but you're able to really put together a winning strategy based off of your previous successes so it can be more consistent. So those are kind of the 3 levels. Number 1, you've been trying, but it's not succeeding, so you want to get someone to help you succeed. You are succeeding, but it's sporadic. You want it to be more consistent. Or you're already successful and you want to accelerate that growth even further. There are, I was having a conversation with Leslie, who just experienced her first, I think it's $15,000 a month, which is crazy, $20,000 a month. And she's a dietitian, and she's doing her first launch this week, actually, which is congratulations, Leslie, if you're listening to this. So proud of you. She's in Clients with Purpose. We showed her the whole launch process. It's amazing. And she said she's not a fan of Tom Brady. Okay, we're getting into sports a little bit. And she's not a fan of bringing up sports, but she respects Tom Brady because Tom Brady has 8 coaches. He has one coach to help him with food, one coach to help him with speed, one coach to help him with durability, one coach to work with strength. He has all of these coaches. He's already really successful with incredible success behind him, and yet he still has coaches because he wants to accelerate his growth. So I hope that's helpful when you are making that decision of when am I ready to hire a coach? Those are typically the 3 stages. Let me know if that was helpful for you in the comments below. And if you're watching live, thanks so much for watching. Go ahead and let me know. Say hi. I'd love to see you. Okay, question 4. I have 2 more questions that I'm going to answer. Amanda's question. Question 4 is, what is the difference between a mastermind group coaching program and one-on-one coaching experience? I see those terms used a lot intermittently, and so I don't understand the difference. Great question. One-on-one coaching is obviously a one-on-one experience. It's you and the coach, and typically that coach is customizing a lot of their training for your specific, business or for your specific goals that you have. So one-on-one coaching is obviously one-on-one experience. Group coaching is where it's a one-to-many model. So you're the coach, and you're working with many clients at once. This model is great. And what it allows you to do is really scale your impact. The focus of one-on-one coaching and group coaching is on the coach. So if you're joining a group coaching program, it's because the coach is highly successful and you want the coach's input and just the coach's input. You're going to get a little bit of community with the other people in the group, but it's the coach who's the expert that you're following. When you're in a mastermind, it's a completely different experience because, of course, there is the person facilitating. For example, in Clients with Purpose, I'm the facilitator. I'm the executive coach, if you will, executive sales coach. And there are additional coaches helping you. But in a mastermind, when you have a real mastermind, you're not bringing in people who are just following one person. You're bringing in people who are experts in and of themselves, who have a place at the table, who can then also give input and ideas. The reason why we call Clients with Purpose a mastermind is because every single person who joins is required to show up as a leader, is required to show up as an expert, is required to be the best version of themselves every single day. And when they're not, that's okay, because we help them step into that gloriously into who they are. And so it's all about where the focus is and where you're getting your answers from. In a mastermind, it's from everybody, because everybody's an expert and you're getting expert advice from like multiple people. And then in a group coaching, it's from one person. Great thing about Clients with Purpose, just real quick, is it's a hybrid. So it's a mastermind. Then we also have group coaching experiences. We also have one-on-one calls, and we have just a wide variety of different options. It's also a course, because there's course material. So it's literally everything that you're going to need moving forward. Great question. And the last question is, how do I put myself out there more? I'm really scared to put myself out there and to really focus on myself. How do I do it? Great question. And then we're going to answer Amanda's question. So how do you put yourself out there? Let me know if you're watching this and you're like, Shawn, I also struggle with this. I struggle with putting out content. Struggle with going live. I struggle with I have a hard time doing these things consistently. I have a hard time kind of talking about myself. Here's a couple of different things that I want to encourage you. Number one, I fully believe you're a leader. When you're a leader, the worst thing you can do is make it all about you. Right? If I showed up to my team every single team meeting, we just had one right before I went live, and I said, hey guys, guess how awesome I am? Let me tell you, I'm pretty amazing. Now, I believe that. I feel like I'm pretty awesome. I also think my team is incredible. And the job of a leader is not to empower him or herself, it's to empower the team and the people that they're leading. You are a leader. So don't put yourself out there as much as your job isn't to be in the spotlight so much as it is to put a spotlight on the people you're working with. Let me give you an example. So if you are my friend on Facebook, go ahead and click my profile, add me as a friend. I'd love to be your friend on the personal page. You'll notice I post a couple of different things. The first thing that I've been posting about is my weight loss, which is pretty cool, my journey. This, for those of you who are just joining, the shirt is loose on me today, which is amazing. I'm just so excited about it. I'm also posting content that shines a light on the people I want to work with. For example, recently I posted a comment that got a ton of engagement, or a post that got a ton of engagement, and it was calling out the people I wanted to work with. It was reminding them of how great they are. It was allowing them to be reminded of the greatness that they are. My job as a leader, my job as somebody who considers himself influential, as an influencer, is to go out into the world and shine a light on the people who are waiting for that spotlight. So the post that I posted was just a reminder, today you're a leader. You're a positivity maker. You're a world changer. You have everything you need in order to succeed. You are enough, and you are always enough. You are capable. You are resourceful. You have every skill set that you need in order to succeed. Guess what I'm doing? I'm reminding the people that I have an interaction with, that I'm engaging with, who they are. And the people liking that, they're saying, yes, that is who I am. I'm not saying how amazing I am. I'm saying how amazing they are. And I'm reminding them of their greatness. So if you're having a hard time putting yourself out there, one of the big reasons is because you feel weird bragging about yourself or focusing all on yourself. Stop focusing on yourself. Start focusing on the story of your audience and start being a positivity, love, hope, joy, life giver in your post. People will desperately appreciate it. So appreciate it because they're looking for that, especially in the world right now. So change the world even in your posts. Call them out, remind them of who they are, and you're going to get a ton of that engagement. You're going to put yourself out there because people are going to be reading your post, but it's not going to be about you. Another thing I would say is if it's true, it's not bragging. Bragging is oftentimes fake or audacious. That guy who's or that girl who, that person who's oh, I'm the best at this. I'm amazing. And then they actually do it and they flop. I remember I had a friend who was I'm the best at everything. And then we'd go do something and then he'd be oh, this is my first time doing it. And that's a little braggadocious. Okay, that's not true. But if it is true, if you are a great speaker, if you are a great coach, if you're an incredible consultant, if you're really good at what you do, being honest about it isn't bragging, it's telling your story and telling your truth and speaking your truth. Own it. Sit in it. Stand in it. It'll be okay. Nobody's going to think it's like the worst thing ever. In fact, I got a ton of people celebrating my progress on my weight loss. So, talking about myself, but it's true. It's not bragging. So, hope that's helpful. Those are all of the questions that came in. Let me know, was that helpful? Go ahead and smash that heart button. Go ahead and let me know in the comments below. And then Amanda asked a really great question, and I want to answer this question. So Amanda says, how do you work the objections you know will come up with prospects into a story so you don't have to just go over objections step by step? Great question. So there's a couple of ways you can leverage story. I talked about this in the inner circle. So like, let's say somebody's like, oh, you know, I don't know if I have enough time to be able to do X, Y, Z, or to work with you in this way. What you want to initially do is, I totally get it, right? Use the average strategy. I get it. What I hear you saying is you have a hard time with time. That reminds me, and that's where you go into the story. You know, that reminds me a little bit of Joe. And Joe was in the same boat. He had a full-time job. He was doing this, and he was able to do that. Now, you can do it like when the objection comes. What I would also encourage you to do is, while you're in your wow talk, bring up Joe's story. So some things that I like to do is, when I'm doing like the questions is, you know, let's say I'm a copywriter, and we're going through their copy. Tell me a little bit of the reasons why, you know, you feel this language isn't converting. Oh yeah, okay, cool. You know what, my client Joe, he was doing an incredible job at his copywriting, but it really wasn't converting. He felt like it was so good, but nobody was paying attention. And one of his challenges was he didn't have enough time to put it together. So now I'm bringing in the objection I know is going to be a time issue into the story before we even talk about the offer. The greatest place to overcome objections isn't actually in the sales call. We talk about this in Clients with Purpose, and I know, Amanda, you're in Clients with Purpose, which is awesome, so we'll cover it later. But it's not actually in the sales call. That is a way to overcome objections as they come up, but the best place to overcome objections is strategically before the sales call. And we'll talk about where specifically that is in Clients with Purpose, but that is going to be totally game changer for you, just knowing that placement. But yeah, you want to make sure that you're incorporating those stories and using those objections. So I hope that was helpful, Amanda. Let me know. Let me see any other comments that came in. Go ahead and maybe scroll down. Wisdom, anything else that come in? All right, so let's go ahead and zoom out. And I just want to say thank you so much for spending quality time with me. We got Baby Yoda here. Everyone say, hi, Baby Yoda. Anyways, I'm super excited to be able to work with you, and I honestly cannot wait to see you. If you have not yet scheduled your Heck Yes Success Call, go ahead and schedule it right now. The team is going to put that in the comments right now. They're going to type in www.clientswithpurpose.com. You'll be able to schedule that Heck Yes Success Call, and in that call, we're going to figure out where you're at. I'm going to ask you a ton of questions, figure out where your weak spots are, what your voids are, like what you're really missing in order to succeed. We're also going to figure out what your goals are and see if Clients with Purpose is a great fit. If not, that's okay. We'll refer you to something else that might be a better fit. So go ahead and click that link. Schedule your Heck Yes Success Call. I'm ShawnQ, your high-ticket sales coach. Go change the world. Go land clients. Talk to you soon.